And the sweet Lord sang his song. It didn't take him very long to help the young man out, freedom from his doubt. Wouldn't you like to be free? Wouldn't you like to be free? Wouldn't you like to be
Dad, I don't think the name would charm or interest you.
No, really, I'd like to know.
Sotwood Camel.
Say it wise.
And next week is for Lothar and the Hand People. Yeah, right. You know, I'm getting sort of tired of this business anyway. I mean, the bass man, he's talking about splitting and going to Mexico again. And the drummer, he doesn't want me to play more than 4 measures of lead per song.
What? After all the trouble over that Telecaster Master Blaster and got tortured into paying for half of? I know. You busted your back on that construction crew for 3 months to pay for your half, but don't start this again, Brian. Last year, it was the tennis team in your sophomore year. Halfway through, you walked out saying it just didn't make sense to spend 2 hours every afternoon waiting your turn to swipe some fuzzy little ball. And before that, the guys on the wrestling team smelled too grungy to mess with on the mat, you said.
Yeah, well, you lock your face in one of their armpits for 20 minutes after lunch, and for what? Momentary prestige?
So you gotta tough it out sometimes to be recognized and get somewhere, Brian. And the year before that, when the physics club laughed at your idea of simulating a hydrogen bomb in the lab so you could design an antidote. Instead of laughing with them, you walked. Now, this pattern stinks, Brian.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Dad. I wouldn't call being first in my class for 3 years in grades a stinking pattern. Or the fact that I earned the general rep as most accomplished lead guitarist in the city.
All right, okay.
If you want to talk stinks, Dad, I'll tell you what stinks. It's the bars we played in. You think you were in the wet end of a barnyard in the middle of an August heat spell. The place reeks of stale beer and half-snuffed tobacco butts. The people, even the girls, they act like animals in a nightmare. Rick took 7 stitches from some chick who clobbered him over the head with a full beer bottle because he wouldn't play her song after closing.
Those are not chicks, Brian.
This girl was an animal, Mom. She had all the brains of a blowfish. She wasn't even drunk yet. You know, I'm tired of this acting slick and playing it cool. I'm tired of watching people flirting around like birds in their brainless pecking orders, seeing how desperately smashed they can get in 3 hours before closing time. You know, who are we playing to? The swamp creatures? There's got to be something higher to work for. There's just got to be something more.
Well, I can't say that I blame you, Brian.
What I do, you can't run like a spook rabbit. You got to turn and hold your ground. Make your stand. You got to deal with people. Learn to live with people. All kinds of people. You think it's any nicer out there in the business world? Oh, the suits are neater and the people may smell better. But that's what the difference is. They fight just as dirty, and their motives are often just as stupid and outrageous, and they'll nail you for sure as they can. But what are you going to do on a job? Run when the crowd gets ugly? Cringe when the boss gets tough? You got to keep your mind on what you're after and what's good for yourself. And let the rest all go hang. Now you hold that band together. I'll sell my half of that guitar. Wish I could put your head back in that sumo armpit too.
Dad, I know you're tenacious and I admire that. I know you're smart too. But I'm beginning to think there's something more to life than just what we can get out for ourselves. I'm beginning to think the purpose is broader than that.
Oh, our son, the great reformer, savior of the world.
Well, I certainly don't want to be another destroyer of the world. I don't feel great about enlisting for Vietnam or working for Dow Chemical. I just feel that it's each of our responsibilities to do something good for mankind and not just to mess things up.
You feel. Do you know where your feelings will get you? At the teller's window? At the broker's office? On your mortgage contract? Or your car financing? Are you nuts?
I understand that, Dad. But something bothers me about the way things are. Maybe, just maybe we're here to learn about something that's so much greater than ourselves, it could just blow our mind.
Now, Brian, I've asked you please not to use the way I talk.
I'm going to take a chance on this one. What do you mean?
Well, maybe God. Well, what else would you call him? We didn't create all this, we just specialize in messing it up.
You're going to be messing it up if you don't hold tight in college and earn a degree. Stick to your obligations and honor your responsibilities. And as for God, I've never seen him. Why doesn't he take a look? Why doesn't he introduce himself? And introduce himself and let him take a look at all the millions of crippled children and starving people huddled all over the planets. If you're waiting for him to help you, you better make long-range plans. They use him to pacify the miserable and the mistreated. Him himself never seems to show.
Why does everybody blame on God when the human race itself is totally blown? As if it's God's fault. Whatever or whoever created all things beautiful in nature surely can do anything.
Beneficent Buck. Now eat and go to school. Earn more money and talk less.
Great. Just fine, Dad. Just fine.
Hey, String Winged Wonder, what's up? Where to? Fender offenders?
Trepidatiously tread I, good Whitney, to the dank din of memory philosophy. First class with Professor Portville.
Ortville? Oh, it'd be more like it, band man. I hear right. This guy can fill your cerebral plate with heaps of dense and arresting matter, more inscrutable in the heights of the Himalayas, with eyes of a crocodile.
No light snacking allowed, eh?
We're talking some ponderous indigestion for those of faint mental stature. Seriously, man, I hear he's amazing. Real intellectual sequoia amongst surrounding bramble. You will move you in place, I'm sure.
Wait, man, you haven't lost your windy word vector madness, not a whit. I, thus inspired, with the expanding heat of expectation, shall literally float to the appointed room. Contain yourself.
Wait a minute. Are you guys in the band gonna play here in the gym next week?
Well, it looks like it. I hope we're ready for it.
Ready? How can you lose? If you are, you know we'll adore you. And if not, we'll riot, tear him to gore pieces. You'll never know the difference. Hey, is that, we're on a record contract real?
Hey, yeah, we're really close with Atlantic. I don't want to be too confident.
Judicious and well advised, less stretched, less fallen wretch.
Hey, I hear you got a book of stories at the college press.
They've been living on some clerk's corner desk now, collecting mold. Wonder when they're gonna walk back on to Papa, you know
Well, I hope they don't forget about him. Hope they don't start charging rent.
Hey, me neither.
Hey, man, it's been a joy as always, but I gotta check out this guy's first class, and before I do, I want to grab something to eat.
All right.
Hasta la vista.
Sayonara.
Existentialism, then, primarily propounds that existence is prior to essence. The French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre, born in the year of, who can say? You.
It was 1482.
1905.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
One of today's leading existentialists declares that the human reality, or man, is the highest principle. In his book, The Humanism of Existentialism, Sartre writes, atheistic existentialism, which I represent, declares that even if God did exist, that would change nothing. It's not that we think that God exists, but that the problem of his existence is not the issue. Sartre defines man as, quote, a being who exists before he can be defined by any concept. And as for man's origin, Sartre would say that man is simply thrown into the world, abandoned, and that he must therefore rely on himself alone. Sartre further describes that the essential nature of man is nothingness. Nothing. A question, yes?
Yeah, Professor Purple, I have two questions. First of all, Sartre describes man as thrown and abandoned into the world, but by whom? Thrown and abandoned implies a thrower and an abandoner. And secondly, if we, man, are essentially nothing, well, how can we, being nothing, exist?
In reply to your first question, Sartre writes, if God did not exist, everything would be possible. This is the very starting point of existentialism. End quote.
That sounds like wishful thinking.
And in reply to your second question, Sartre elaborates as follows. Not only do we exist, furthermore, to be man means to reach toward being God. Or if you prefer, man fundamentally is the desire to be God. End quote.
That sounds contradictory. How can man, essentially being nothing, aspire to be God at the same time? And if God doesn't exist, then, well, why discuss him?
Yes. This desire is bound to fail. So, Sartre concludes that life is meant for despair. Man is simply a useless passion. And the ultimate pessimistic conclusion is that life has no purpose in the universe. So, on this somewhat poignant note, we shall end here today. Study chapters 13 and 14 on rationalism for the next class, students.
great pleasure to introduce to you the spiritual master and the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Prabhupada.
So, you have many departments of technology. But where is the department that is showing how to bring someone from death back to life?
We're getting close. We have a department that is currently working on the synthesis of amino acids, the building blocks of life. We have a department that is studying the genetic arrangement of reproduction. We have departments that are creating artificial hearts, livers, and other vital organs of the body.
Recently, one big professor, Nobel Prize winner, came to Los Angeles to tout his book on chemical evolution. His remedy for our darkness is that life begins from a certain 4 chemicals. One of my disciples, who is also a doctorate in chemistry, asked the professor, if I supply these chemicals, can you produce life? To that he replied, that I cannot say. Remember, he has asserted that life begins from 4 chemicals, but when asked, can you produce life? That I cannot say. Is this not cheating?
Well, one could say we're just jumping into conclusions.
I say to the scientists, produce just one living being, not even human being, simply an ant. Then I shall say you are successful. Are there any scientists here? Can you analyze the chemical constituents of a chicken's egg?
That can easily be done in a laboratory.
There, take these chemicals, produce some white substance, some yellow substance, put a shell around it, and produce a baby chicken. Can you do that?
No, but in the future...
Then, until then, you must admit that the chicken is a better scientist than you. Do you agree? Where is the evidence that life comes from matter? Is there any evidence in history?
No, but as we know, the evolution of life has gone through many, many different stages. How do you say it was Darwin?
Darwin's theory. You refer to Darwin's theory. That is all nonsense. Yes, Darwin was a number 1 nonsense, a rascal. He has confused the whole world.
Why?
His idea about the evolution of matter. Matter cannot evolve. It is not possible.
But the evolution of life.
What do you mean by life? Life is different from matter. Life is different energy, spirit. It is no accident. There is no random selection, no chance occurrence. God, original life, has already created all these many gradations of material species, from amoeba to the human being. It is the spirit which takes different bodies according to past action or karma. Do you follow?
Not exactly.
If one has no discrimination in his eating habit, then he may take the body of a hog, eat even stew without embarrassment. Or if one likes to sleep, he may accept the body of a bear and sleep for 6 months. Or if one is overly fond of sex, he may be forced to take the body of a pigeon. The pigeon can have sex 16 times an hour. But even if one is degraded into such lower species of life, still, by God's grace, by the laws of material nature, one can again evolve upward through many millions of species, lifetime after lifetime, many millions of births and deaths, until one again regains the human form of life.
What then is the purpose of human life?
Only in the human form of life can one realize God. one can act godly. Then, at life's end, go back to live with God.
Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
Yes. Christ consciousness is also Krishna consciousness. But at present, because people do not follow the rules and regulations of Christianity, the commandments of Jesus Christ, they do not come to the standard of God consciousness.
How do you feel about women's liberation?
So-called equal rights for women mean the men cheat the women. Suppose a man and woman meet, they become lovers, they have sex, the woman becomes pregnant, and the man goes away. The woman must take charge of the child, beg alms from the government, or else she kills the child by abortion. This is so-called women's independence. However, in our movement, both men and women have equal opportunity for spiritual advancement. Real liberation means no more birth or death.
Well, what about overpopulation? What about all the starving people in Bangladesh?
I have seen in your country, as well as Africa, Australia, so much land lying uncultivated. Why not utilize the land, grow foodstuffs, and distribute to the needy? But instead, you prefer to dump millions of tons of grain into the ocean, waiting for higher price. I think this earth could support 10 times her present population. But it must be managed nicely. So much land is wasted, growing useless, harmful crops like tobacco and coffee. Why not grow foodstuff and feed the hungry people? Okay, so that article you were writing, you were reading this morning.
That book? I've got it here. You want me to read that? This is a book called Proteins, Their Chemistry and Politics by Dr. Aaron Altschul. Over 90% of all grains produced in the U.S. is used for feeding livestock, cows, pigs, lambs, chickens, that wind up on dinner tables. But we only get back 1 pound of meat for every 16 pounds of grain. In terms of calorie units per acre, a diet of grains, vegetables, and beans will support 20 times more people than a meat diet. Reducing meat production by only 10% would release enough grain to feed 60 million people.
So I believe that God is happy with me when I'm happy. So what's wrong with worldly pleasures?
God's pleasure is not dependent on your pleasure. He is Atma Ra, self-satisfied. And what is more, even you are not made happy by material pursuits. No matter how much material pleasure you partake, still you must suffer the miseries of life, birth, old age, disease, and death. Just try to understand. This human life is not meant simply to work hard like jackass, enjoy little sense gratification, then all of a sudden die.
Now, wait a minute. Do you expect us to believe that none of you people grow old, get sick, and die?
Like this. The cat catches the kitten in its mouth. It also catches the mouse. But there is a difference in this catching. The kitten feels pleasure. Oh, my mother is carrying me. And the mouse feels its death knell. Oh, I'm about to die. Like this, the devotee materialists are dying. But there is a difference in the feeling at the time of death. For the devotee, death is the gentle hand of God, carrying him safely back home. And for the materialist, death is a horrible, frightening experience. Destination unknown.
I hope.
Excuse me. I have a question. If there were three things that we had to know about your philosophy, if there were two things I had to know about your philosophy, if there were just one thing I could learn about your philosophy, what would it be?
Hey, we can answer your question. Hey, Caboose, come on, let's answer the question.
Just one more time, I swear it. If he interrupts me while I'm waiting on customers, I think I'll go bananas.
Well, why don't you politely give him a hint about this?
Hint? I could have written a book. Nothing penetrates that 2-inch skull of his.
Did you get your hour switch yet?
No, not yet.
Come on, Alicia. You know these past few weeks have been bad on you. You've got that big nurse's exam coming up next week. Get the guy straight.
Ooh, I love it when you're right.
What? What's on your mind?
How's it going with the band? Do you feel good about the concert next week?
Oh, yeah, pretty good. We just finished a few good ones. Should be fun.
If you get that Atlantic record out, are they going to push you all to go on tour?
I'm not sure. Probably.
Well, does this mean long distance is the way of life? You know, I hadn't really thought of it before. But now that I do, I don't like it at all.
Doing some concerts 2 or 3 states away doesn't mean I'm going to forget you. I mean, besides, a record doesn't guarantee a tour. There's got to be a hit first. Right? Right? Right?
Brian, have you ever thought of getting married?
I've not really thought about it.
I mean it, really.
I'm sure you do, Alicia, and I'm glad you think so much of us, but we're really not ready for something like that. I mean, look at us. I mean, we're both broke. We've got years of school to go. I mean, how do we ever get the kind of bread to pull something like that off?
My dad would help us get started.
What about school?
People do get married in school, Brian.
I really think we should think about this before we just leap into a major decision.
Well, what if I told you that we have to get married?
Anybody seen him? This is weird. The guy's never been late before.
Not to mention 40 minutes. Maybe we ought to just go ahead and run through a few down.
Yeah.
Well, Lord man, we've been working on your song. You know, your song.
Yeah. Message received, I'm sorry.
The Stones must have given him a firm offer. Must have taken him about 40 minutes to chew it over.
Nah, man, Zeppelin had dibs on him first. He must have had to call him.
You're all wet. His old lady tripped over his guitar, knocked the bathtub. It'd hang out on the clothesline to dry.
I know I'm lucky you guys haven't replaced me yet. Now, can we get down to it?
Like far out.
We're doing a run through the cliffhanger. The lead breaks right after the first chorus. Shall we?
Sure, hit it.
He's lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling.
That could
concludes another episode of The Edge of Night. I guess one of us is going to need to talk to him tomorrow, huh? You want to run through a couple more? Yeah. All right.
Oh God, what a trip.
Hi, guys!
Please skin me to death!
Hey, the nurse is my enemy, dear fellow. Voltage is my middle name. What's Crackland?
Get out of my life.
Solitude is for grizzlies in winter.
Whitney! Now it's just not the time.
Listen, Brian, I've been thinking about what you told me this morning. Your old buddy Whitney's going to help you through this one. Yeah. Listen to this. Most people say that a baby isn't even alive till it comes out of the womb.
Oh,
Yep.
come on, Whitney. Any first-year biology student knows that a fetus has a heartbeat after 4 weeks, brainwaves present at 6 weeks, and at 12 weeks he's functioning with 95% of his muscles, organs, structures developed.
Well, listen to this. I read a theory this morning that says that nothing is real. You're not here. I'm not here. We're not here. So forget it.
Whitney, did you ever find that exhaust system for that Rambler of yours you were looking so hard to find?
Ingratitude.
seem drawn to the music.
Well, yeah, I guess I have been. I mean, it's got a strong, sweet feeling about it. What do the words mean? Why do you repeat them so much?
To purify the mind and intelligence of material lust and entanglements, a special method of cleansing is required. In Sanskrit, that's called mantra. Mant means mind, and tra means to free or to deliver. So a mantra is a sound vibration which purifies the mind. Now, Krishna is the all-attractive person, and Rama means the ocean of unlimited pleasure. Both are names of the Supreme Being. Hare is a way of addressing the Supreme through his energy. Now, this mantra is effective because it has the unlimited potency of the Supreme.
Are you sure it's not just self-hypnosis?
No. Hypnosis is a subconscious state, whereas chanting Hare Krishna brings a superconscious awareness of oneself, the universe, and the very source of the universe.
Can you tell me more about Krishna?
Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, complete in all opulence, all beauty, all fame, all strength, all knowledge, and he's the cause of everything.
Godhead?
That simply means God, the Supreme Being.
Is that the same God everybody else is talking about?
Well, sure, there's only one. He has many different names, Jehovah, or Adonai, Elohim, Allah, Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, Govinda, Krishna. He has unlimited names, and yet he remains the same, just like the sun. The sun is one, and yet if you go to different countries, well, people have different names for it. You go to Mexico, they say El Sol, or Israel, they call it Shemesh. You go to India, they say Surya. And you come back here, everybody says the sun. But the sun doesn't change despite all the different names we apply to it.
Can I ask you a personal question? Did you have to change your lifestyle much?
I was engaged in so many unsavory things before, consequently certain habits had to be changed.
For instance?
Well, first of all, I no longer eat meat.
What's wrong with eating meat?
Meat is not to be eaten because it creates unnecessary violence. It also affects an adverse psychological condition on human beings. Plus, our intestines are not meant for digesting putrefying, toxin-producing carcasses. Furthermore, the extra cholesterol found in meat causes high blood pressure, heart disease, what to speak of cancer of the colon, of the rectum, of the...
Okay, all right. I mean, but I eat meat to maintain endurance for my band. I mean, for protein.
Yeah, but protein is amply available in wheat and milk products and nuts and beans. Animal violence is not required. The bulls and the elephants are bigger than you are, and the horses are more graceful and enduring, and they're all vegetarian.
Would you like one of this? It's a lunch made with nuts, honey, dried fruit, and fried goods.
Fantastic. Are you one of these vegetarians too?
She knows to run away.
reason we don't eat meat is we can't offer it to Lord Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakti priyatati, tarham bhakti paratam asnami pratiratnana, which is Sanskrit for, if one offers me a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or water with love and devotion, these I will accept. So we only offer him what he will accept.
Oh, I get it. So God's a vegetarian. Well, that's food for thought. Well, hey, what other habits did you have to change?
Getting intoxicated, gambling, engaging in illicit sex.
Well, it doesn't sound like life's worth living. I mean, that doesn't sound fun at all.
May I ask your name?
Brian.
Mine's Keshav. Happiness is not to be found in the external senses, Brian, but in the soul. For that's what we are, a spirit soul inside a gross material body.
Wait a minute. I saw your guru. Was that your guru?
Srila Prabhupada?
Yeah. He was explaining that point to a student in the free speech area.
That's right.
Something wrong with sex?
Well, celibacy is extremely helpful for perfection of meditation on transcendence. This is common knowledge throughout the world. And yet for most of it, it's very difficult to give up the idea of sex for pleasure. And yet sex is the very thing that ties us to the idea we are this body. Now, it's not forbidden, but should only be used with one's wife for having a nice child. Otherwise, illicit sex makes transcendental realization almost impossible, and it leads to a bunch of bad results, such as abortion, a disease, unwanted children.
Wait. Where do you stand on abortion?
Well, in the Vedic teaching, life begins at conception. The spirit soul is there in the man's sperm. At the time of conception, the living entity is right there. So abortion means murder and carries a heavy karmic reaction.
What kind of reaction?
Karma means, as you sow, so shall you reap. So if you commit an abortion, you get aborted in your next birth.
Oh, you're talking about reincarnation.
That's right. Show me the body you had when you were a tiny baby.
Well, it's here.
No. Every tiny little baby cell has been changed over many times, and yet you remain the same person. Consequently, at the time of death, the spirit soul transfers to another body. That's reincarnation.
Well, if what you're saying is right, then our society's dead wrong.
Well spoken, Brian. You see, transcendental realization awards one a higher taste, by which he loses the taste for the lower crude, so-called pleasures.
Then you're saying there's something superior to these material enjoyments we've been calling the all in all?
Unimaginably superior.
If there was a world where you could live forever, if there was a world, a life of endless pleasure, where each word was a song, would you come along? If there was a world
sir, would you be so kind as to accept this modest token of our best wishes on this most happy occasion? A villager keel. I think you'll find it both mild and exhilarating. Also, we have this delightful mad dog. The bouquet will enhance the smoke.
Thank you very much. Pour some for them also.
Oh, very good.
You smoke cigars, Jim? I didn't know you smoked cigars.
There you are.
Hey, this juice is awful sour. What's gone on when it got warm?
It's not juice, Pop. It's the finest wine money can buy.
Wine.
Pop never did like wine, dear.
I'd be glad to drink it for him. This is excellent wine.
Here, dearie, you take it. You're not driving home, though, are you?
No, we came in Jim's car, Pop.
How does your old man look for 45, huh, kid?
Yeah, you look good, Dad.
I think he's cuter now than when I first married him.
Here, I got something that I brought along. Next one. There's a photo taken of me, 1931. I was 42 years old then.
Wow, Pop was really handsome. And look at that physique.
That's quite a
Boy, this wine is good.
That's not all that's good here. This place has some of the best filet mignon you will ever taste.
I'll take that. Extra rare.
Ah, very good. If you're all ready to order, may I describe tonight's chef's specials?
Yes, please do.
Tonight we have a lovely leg of lamb in a delicately sweet burgundy cream sauce with a touch of green peppercorn and tarragon. Also, there's our breast of goose, delicately sauteed in chicken consomme in a light tomato marinade laced with sherry. Also, may I recommend an appetizer which does not appear on our menu. L'escargot, imported from New Guinea, in a light garlic butter in the shell.
What's that?
L'escargot, imported from New Guinea.
New Guinea? They already shipping around here, too?
L'escargot is French for snail, sir.
Snails? Now, don't you be joking with us now, Rick.
They're a delicacy, Pop. They're delicious.
I'll take the filet mignon, medium rare. And Alicia will also have the filet.
Extra rare.
Extra rare.
Brian, filet for you too?
I'll have macaroni and cheese.
Brian, not in a place like this. Have some meat.
They have chicken kid, or they have boiled lobster. You love steamed lobster, Brian. See that tank over there? You can pick your own. They'll steam it right in front of you.
I don't think so.
What's wrong, honey? Aren't you feeling well? At least take a steak to celebrate your father's birthday.
Now, let the young fella choose for himself.
All right. Macaroni and cheese for Brian.
Where's the bathroom in this place?
I'll say.
Take your hands off of me. I'm not crippled. I'm just old.
Okay.
Well, I stand here all night. You gotta help me up.
Okay.
Hurry up.
Okay.
just worried about that band and the record deal. Or maybe he's planning how to ask his dad for a loan on a new car.
No. He mentioned to me the other day that someone in college told him that the war in Vietnam was a result of slaughterhouses.
Now, we didn't come here tonight to discuss Brian and his harebrained philosophy. Now, let's see.
Oh, Pop.
Oh, you move over here?
Yeah, we moved over this.
No, that table over there.
I don't.
Good as ever. Did I steer you right, Alicia?
Terrific.
And you, dear?
Oh, it's delightful.
And Pop? How is, whatever that is?
It reminds me of your mother. It reminds me of your mother.
Jim, how'd you do in the company tournament yesterday?
22 over par.
Not bad, honey.
Well, it could have been a lot better if Peterson hadn't triple bogeyed twice in a row. Started cussing everything in sight, spoiling my blasted concentration.
Sorry.
I could never get that little thing to go where I wanted it to go. How do you ever concentrate so much?
That's nothing.
Ah, dear. Juicy, isn't it?
That's not juice. That's blood.
Jim, is it true that that corny office tower, you know that big building on Jamestown Boulevard, has decided to sell you guys for all of its office machines?
Yeah, we're real close. We'll get them for sure.
Did they turn that off or what?
Or what?
The music, Pop. The music.
I'm so glad you came to the temple. Besides our regular temple activities, this morning there's something special. An initiation ceremony is going to be performed.
Well, what's an initiation?
Some of Srila Prabhupada's students who've been practicing bhakti yoga for at least a year are accepted as formal disciples by the spiritual master.
Well, how does that change things for the disciple?
They get a spiritual name, they get their karma removed, and they're also guaranteed of going back to Lord Krishna's abode, provided they maintain their vows.
What was that ceremony we saw just a while ago?
Oh, that is called arti. That happens 6 times a day. And that's when vegetarian food, flowers, incense, flames, so many things are offered to the deities of Krishna and his consort.
Yeah, but isn't that idol worship?
No. God is a real person. He has a real form, but only pure devotees can see the Lord. In the course of time, many pure devotees who have seen Krishna have described his form in detail. This form of Krishna here is fashioned exactly like those descriptions found in the Vedic Shastras.
Yes, but isn't there something in the Old Testament against carving images?
Yeah, but the Old Testament or the whole Bible never says not to make a form of God. It says in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 4, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." And then the Lord says in the next verse, "Thou shalt not carve thyself any image of anything in the heavens above, or on the earth, or in the waters below the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself and serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God." Now we completely agree. Only God should be worshipped, no one less. Not golden calves, not money, not rock and roll gods or scientist gods or the sun or the moon god or some bogus yogi from India. Not even goddesses of beauty like Marilyn Monroe. That is idolatry, and it is forbidden. Is that all right?
Yeah.
The ceremony is just about to begin.
Repeat after me. Om Apavitra Va Sarva Vastam Tato I Ya Smaret Kundari Akyam Sa Bhaya Yantra Suchi Sri Vishnu. This verse from the Quran is translated whether one is pure or impure, or having passed through all conditions of material life, if one simply remembers the lotus eye Krishna, he becomes internally and externally clean. So, those of you who are taking initiation today must mold your lives so that you cannot but think of Krishna. This is perfection of life, to always remember Krishna and never forget it. So, when I call your name, please come on. Get it. Who is Krishna?
Krishna is God.
And who are you?
I am the servant of God.
Yes. You agree to strictly follow all the rules and regulations.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada.
Your name is Gaurachandra Das. Gaurachandra means the moonlight golden avatar. It is the name of the Lord Chaitanya. And Dasa means servant. So you are the servant of Lord Chaitanya. Bani. You know the four prohibitions.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada.
For the benefit of our guests, we'll explain these beads. These beads are called japa beads. There are 108 beads, and we chant one mantra on each bead. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We ask our disciples to chant minimum of 16 times round these beads each day, because the holy name of Lord Krishna is not different from him. This chanting will help the devotee always remember him. Your name is Govinda Dasi. Govinda is the name of Krishna, which means he gives pleasure to the senses and takes care of ours. Do you have any questions? Yes, you may ask.
Srila Prabhupada, could you please explain what Lord Chaitanya meant by feelings of separation?
Your question is very nice. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, who appeared 500 years ago as the ideal devotee. His mood was one of separation from God. Krishna, I want to see you, but I am so disqualified. I cannot see you. These feelings of separation will make you enraged in Krishna consciousness. Now, Krishna, I have seen you finished. I understand you now, all done. No, you must perpetually think, I am unfit to see Krishna. Yes, the question is very nice. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya, Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya, Radharamana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya, Radharamana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya, Radharamana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal 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 Jaya Jaya.
As we have discussed, Lepidoptera, commonly known as the butterfly, has the extraordinary attribute of metamorphosis. In other words, the caterpillar, in its larva stage, spins itself a cocoon, also known as the chrysalis stage, as a protective covering. The creature ultimately emerges from its cocoon a full-blown butterfly. Miraculous, isn't it? Now let us consider the value of this insect's structural design. The mouth parts and locomotor organs are in a series of pairs. The mouth parts have 3 sets of jaws: the biting mandibles, the holding maxillae, and a 3rd set for a second maxillae fused into a lower lip or flap. Added to these is an internal lower lip or labrum, and internally a hypopharynx and an epipharynx. 9 parts. Oh, excuse me a moment, please. I have a little domestic emergency. Oh, yeah, right. So please excuse me for the next 20 minutes. I'm sorry to have to disturb our class like this. Now, please read chapter 15, which reviews what I said concerning the growth stages of organisms. And we will discuss what you have read after I return.
Tally-ho!
Hey man, you know, I just gotta expand on this. Hey, can you dig it? Yeah. Well, let's get into it. Get rid of this thing first. You know, our good professor has given us a rather dry sketch of this phenomenon. But just imagine if there were a higher purpose to this phenomenon.
Hey,
Let's get all our little feeties in a row. Hey, don't wake him up.
A caterpillar changed his mind and woke to find himself refined. His old self had to die for him to be a butterfly. Tired of walking on the ground, and so around himself he wound a screen of silken strands, a veil untouched by human hands. And something subtle changed within, reflected by his changing skin. He had a change of heart and wished to play another part. From worm to butterfly, and if he could, then so could I. I want to free my mind, rise beyond the wave of time, beyond this burning dark abyss, up to the land of love and bliss, where grows the flower sweet. I'll fly to Krishna's lotus feet. For me to live eternally, my soul has
to the boss this afternoon.
Oh.
You know, he took you up in your suggestion. After a few snide jokes, he was actually pretty nice about rearranging my hours.
All right, good for you.
Can I talk to you about something important?
Wait. There's something I've got to tell you first. Well, I know it's been a long time since we talked last, but I really think we should get married and have our child.
I'm so glad you
Wait, just wait. Let me explain. You remember I told you, I met these people at the temple and they amazed me so much that I bought a book from them?
Yeah.
Well, I've read parts of that book and it really amazed me completely. I mean, I've never seen a people so at peace and at joy with what they're doing. They in their philosophy have answered many of my deepest questions. This is how I want to live.
Who are these people?
Would you like something to drink, something to eat maybe?
I don't want anything to eat, and I don't want to drink. Now, who are they?
The International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
What consciousness?
Krishna.
Krishna? Those bald-headed freaks with the bells?
Alicia, just a minute.
Now, I don't know exactly what you're planning here, and I don't know what you think you're going to do, but I'm sure not going to be any part of it.
Alicia, think of the advantage in raising our child in Krishna.
Shut up! Shut up! Don't talk about a child! Where do you come up even thinking? Are you expecting me to, you creep? Where did this come from, you scum? Damn!
I knew this would be hard on you, but if you just...
Oh, how prophetic! How astute, you dummy! Did you also know that those guys are all queers and they bow down to a blue god?
If you would just meet these people, you'd read about Bhagavad Gita.
No! No, not in this lifetime! I'd rather die.
Alicia, I thought that you wanted this relationship to mean something. I thought you wanted it to be more than just the mundane. What everybody else seems to want, mating, sleeping, eating, defending, anybody can do that. Nobody gives a thought to a higher purpose in life. Don't you see, we need to be with spiritually advanced people. If you just look at this without prejudice. Free from all illusion, above this world's confused.
to tell you was that there never was a kid. I just wanted to see what you'd say.
Come in, Sam.
All right. Ryan. What's happening? Oh, how's it going?
I've got some heavy things on my mind.
Hey, fantastic girl today. She's got a good-looking girlfriend. And Brian's down at the club tonight, and I just thought that you might come with me.
I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm not going to be able to.
Hey, I got some good stuff for us all to get on, man. Dogging some demon weed. Hot cocoa gold.
Yeah, I had some too. I flushed it down the toilet a couple of days ago.
You what? Oh, you mean the cops are coming?
I got a higher taste.
Acid. What?
Let's say it's a form of Eastern meditation. Yeah. Let's say it's a way of eternally being in touch with the divine.
No. When this life is over, that's it, man.
No.
Yeah, the end.
No. That's just the end of this body. But the spirit soul continues in other material forms. But the pure soul goes back to the spiritual sky when this body's finished.
The spiritual sky? It's in his bag.
This is temporary and artificial.
Hey! Oh, not this! Hey, it's 5 hours. It's grown naturally. Mexico.
You know, we don't need anything material to bring us to higher consciousness. All we need to do is chant Hare Krishna. Now wait a minute. Listen to me. Ecstasy is already there in the soul. It just needs to be revived.
Man, just forget this crap. Let's smoke some dope.
You're the dope who loves the crap.
Hey, man. Hey. Watch what you're saying here. Who are you saying it to?
Yeah, okay, Sam. I just won't be able to do anything tonight. Thanks anyway.
Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go around.
It's all right. It's no problem. I'm just not interested in cheap thrills anymore. Not since I met Krishna.
Hey, man! These sissies are really putting a whammy on you, man.
Sam, why don't you just go do your thing?
All right. But don't come crying to me when you realize that you've been ripped off. Friend. You're a sucker, man. You're nuts. You're crazy, man. You're nuts.
Yeah, right. Hey, Ma.
How are you?
I know you're going to talk to me, but I've only got about 30 minutes.
Oh, really? Come on in, Sam. How's school, dear? Remember when we lived on on Sauter Street, and you were so close to that little boy, Joey?
Yeah.
I saw him a couple of days ago at the grocery store.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's living in Hawaii, second year of law school. He's engaged to a real sweet girl. She was with him. And they seem so happy.
That's nice.
You know, when your father and I first got married, he was working a night shift as shipping manager at that NCR warehouse, and I had that crazy defense plant day job. Did I ever tell you we only had 4 hours together a week? No, it's true. We hardly ever saw each other. It never seemed to bother us somehow. It was just after the war. Money was tight. We didn't have a car. We had to ride bikes. And we skated at the roller rink for 25 cents each. But we were happy with each other. Alicia called me.
Uh-oh.
Brian, you're an intelligent young man. And your father and I have always tried to give you lots of room to express yourself. Freedom to make your own decisions after considering both sides carefully. True? True? I'm alarmed at what I'm hearing. You're not honestly thinking of giving up on a girl who's loved you faithfully for 4 years because some latest foreign fad, are you?
It's not a fad, Mom. I mean, it's one of the oldest religions in the world. More than 5,000 years. And before you get rolling here, Mom, I haven't given up on Alicia. I just wanted to share with her my interest in Krishna Consciousness. Thought maybe we were close enough that I could be truthful with her.
How do you expect an attractive, well-adjusted girl to swallow this? What about your education? You're gonna sack that too?
Well, it depends on what you mean by education. If you mean that paper degree meant for profit, prestige, and pretension, I'm not sure.
Oh, that's great, Brian. Splendid idealism, which is gonna win you the title Wizard of the Soup Lines. What are we gonna tell our friends and relatives? That your hair fell out? And that your brains mutated because of atomic radiation?
Just tell them I can no longer join them for the big Sunday blood barbecue.
You realize, of course, when your dad hears about this, there'll be no dealing with him.
Why is everybody just flying off the handle about this without even knowing what it's about? Mom, have you read any of the books? Do you know anything about philosophy? What? Why doesn't anybody ask me what I think about this?
These cults are expert at brainwashing innocent, unsuspecting college students like you. Watch out for your money, Brian. That's all we're after. Here, take your begging bowl. Here, take it. You're gonna need it. And I hope they'll allow visitors at that penitentiary where you'll be kept after you get arrested for those drug-filled orgies. By the way, your Aunt Margaret told me she knows of a girl who came from one of those cults, and she came back with glazed eyes, and she wouldn't even say hello to her dog! Besides that, the commune, all they fed her was blanched turnips. Go ahead, Brian! Throw everything away! Let them make an amazing vegetable out of you!
Mom, which cult did Aunt Margaret tell you about? The one the girl came back from?
I don't know. Some cults are all the same.
Mom, are you aware that two of the basic principles of the Hare Krishna movement are one, no intoxication whatsoever of any kind. And then number two, they do not practice sex life except within marriage and only for having children. Mom, would you say that over 400 million people who live in India and whose ancestors have worshipped Krishna for generations were brainwashed? Would you say that Einstein, Kant, Schopenhauer, these men who revered the Bhagavad Gita, the main source of the Hare Krishna movement, were all mindless robots? Mama, Aunt Margaret is not the place to go to find out the truth about Krishna.
I don't understand any of this. What are you doing? What are you doing?
There's a line past which is hard to cross, with familiar ways and plans are lost. Someone you've taken the heart, and I understand your sharp concern with the sudden way my life is turned. Suddenly we run apart. But mother, what kind of man would I be if I turned my back on what I see, or from what my heart knows is true? And I understand the sharp concern, the sudden way my life is turned. Suddenly we run apart from the common way of viewing things, from the harmful fun our culture brings, and from the me that you knew. But mother, what kind of man would I be if I turned my back on what I see, or from what my heart knows is true? And I know you wish the best for me, the greatest I can become. No, this is my challenge, to return to the home I am from. This is the way I enjoy my true eternal soul. Mother, please don't weep, for I've chosen the highest goal. Mother, please don't weep, for I've chosen the highest
Man, I can't believe it.
Turn around and look again, man, because it's true. We looked at 13 cities, including Frisco, Chicago, and mighty Apple.
Are we doing this tour before? Are we doing this recording session before the tour or right after?
Oh man, who cares? Main thing is, we're doing it.
Big man down in Atlanta says you should definitely wait to the end of the tour so you can use some of our inspired live links.
Man, I just can't believe it.
Hey, look, we've been together a long time. Worked often enough for gas money, and I tell you this, we were due, and I can believe it.
Oh, hey, Brian.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Celebrating?
We were wondering who would be the most hip in psychedelic LA, as if there could be any question.
I've got something serious I have to tell you guys.
I hope it's better than the last time you said that. You just wrecked my Chevy.
I'm not going to be able to go with you guys. I'm just not going to be able to do it. Something's come along. It's changed the way I see doing things.
What are you trying to say?
You guys know that this band has been number one in my life. I mean, you know this break. I wanted it as much as any of you. I don't know how to say this, but I spiritual opportunity has come my way that means more to me than this break in the music field. I now know that there's a God. I haven't been serving Him the way I should. I've been a slave to material passions, desires, and the only way I can turn this around is to be with advanced spiritual people.
Born again.
I'm afraid it's more far out than that. I want to join the Hare Krishna.
We don't care what religion you are. Why can't you travel with us?
Understand, nobody's demanding this of me. A lot of people, they follow these teachings, they live outside the temple, they go about their own career. But for me, the music field with its fast pace, it's drugs, it's loose chicks, it's just going to tear apart what I'm trying to put together.
Cute. Really cute. Cold turkey.
What about us, man? What about us? Are these your spiritual principles to shaft everybody else?
Huh? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What can I say? What can I do?
You can take your newfound jewel and do you know what with it.
Spend all these years working for something. Almost there.
And somebody drops a pound of salt in the soup. Don't you understand what's important? How can you be so inconsiderate? So, while you're saying prayers at that monastery, keep one for us poor fools out here in the dog-eat-dog world who had a chance to make it big, but lost it because of you. Saint Brian!
Just give me a chance. This is as much a shock to me as it is to any of you. I mean, you're my friends. I don't want to hurt you. I hope you know my intentions, they're good.
Let's split.
You just give me a chance.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks a lot.
Just hear me again.
Hey, look, Brian. Don't worry. You'll get over it. And if it's what you must do, then I understand.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you and make allowance for their doubting too. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. If you can think and not think you're the one. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it. You is more than being man, my son.
Begin by distributing some of Srila Prabhupada's books. Gopinath, you go to 4th and Main. All right? And Gaurachanda, you go to 5th and Broadway. And when you finish distributing what books you have, come on back here, we'll have a little kirtan. Haribol! Good morning, sir.
Oh, no time. No. All right?
Hello, ma'am.
What's that?
I'd like to show you a beautiful book about Lord Krishna.
But I'm a Christian.
That's very good. You see, the Greek word Krishna is where we get our word Christ, and that comes from the Sanskrit word Krishna or Krishna. So please take this beautiful literature about God the Father.
Thank you. I'll read it.
Good, thank you.
God bless you, young fellow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Krishna.
Brian! Is everything all right?
Can we sit down and talk some more?
Sure, do you want to sit right here?
You know, this is the toughest decision I've ever had to make in my life. Would Krishna want me to cause pain to my girlfriend, my family, my friends? I mean, this is causing severe pain to the people that I love and the people that love me. I want so much to join you in the bliss of serving Krishna. But it's so much at once.
I don't understand. Can you be more specific?
The contract we're under, they're threatening to cancel if I leave the band. My girlfriend, Alicia, is telling everyone that I'm a Satan worshiper and that she's terrified of me. I've been getting really heavy calls from her brothers, and my father told me that if I were to join the movement, that I need to have my name changed legally as well, because I'd no longer be a member of the family. Krishna's philosophy is really tremendous, but can I just turn my back on my obligations? I mean, Kesava, could you be the cause of such suffering?
I can appreciate what you're going through. And I'm deeply sorry that your loved ones are upset with you because of your genuine interest in Krishna consciousness. But Brian, you have to remember, when you read the Bhagavad Gita, how Krishna's friend Arjuna is confused, he's bewildered, he doesn't know what to do. His problem was he didn't know whether to serve friendship, family, and love, or to surrender to Lord Krishna's desires. But just as Krishna had to instruct the anxious Arjuna not to be bewildered by illusion, so we too have to push past our fears and take seriously the message that Lord Krishna spelled out so clearly to us. Can I recite one verse to you from the Gita? Yeah. Krishna says, "My dear Arjuna, one who is engaged in my pure devotional service, having renounced fruitive activities and mental speculation, who makes me the goal of life, who always works for me, who's friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me."
How am I being friendly to my family, my friends?
But, Brian, your family, your friends, everyone here in this material world is plagued with the same problems of old age, disease, and death. They're all suffering due to forgetfulness of the relationship with the Lord. And consequently, they are entrapped by illusion, bewildered by lust, frustrated, and ultimately destroyed by time. Now, imagine for yourself a room full of people with their hands tied up. If your hands are free, well, you can help them all as well. But if your hands are also tied up, if you continue acting, thinking you are this body, well, how will that help anybody?
Well, at least for now, it would give them some temporary relief, and it would give me some relief too.
Yeah, but you have to decide whether you want to give them some temporary relief or eternal spiritual benefits. Lord Krishna is the root of existence. When you water a tree, if you water the root, everything gets nourished, the branches, the twigs, the leaves, the fruits, everything. So when we give our loving service to Krishna, automatically, friends, family, country, the whole world is benefited all at once.
But I have desires. I have desires that I want to fulfill. I can't ignore them. I don't think I can do it.
Everybody has desires. For some people, it's more gradual than for others. But now, it doesn't matter whether you move in the temple or whether you stay on the outside, whether you keep your job, whether you quit. What it matters is that you become Krishna conscious. The whole world is suffering for lack of God consciousness. It's not a sin to devote yourself completely to God. Christ, Moses, Mohammed, so many great personalities gave up everything simply to spread the Lord's glories. That's the important thing, Brian, just to chant Hare Krishna, to understand that love of Krishna is the highest goal of life.
It's as if Krishna wants me to transform somehow.
Krishna wants you to live more fully than ever before.
You have risen, spirit, soul. This form lies far beyond my height, and how your wonders call my heart in grace. His dawn displays the beauty in the sky. The rainbow shows the colors of your dress. Movements of the moon reflect your mind. The smiling is the cause of happiness. Love is because you are so kind. Your precious gift of loving heart, a moon standing high the star. Your love, in my heart, in my heart. Roaring rivers flow forth from your veins. Clouds fill the sky from your hair. The streets are like water by your rains. And from your breathing blows the mighty air. Lord, you are the source of all I see. Moving songs, passing days of time. You are the resting place of all and me. Love is because you are so high. Oh, we know within my heart to let your heaven know it's I was. Your precious gift of loving heart, who stands high the star. In my heart, in my heart.
the battlefield 5,000 years ago. In the midst of danger, Arjuna dropped his bow, and the sweet Lord sang his song. It didn't take him very long to help the young man out, freed him from his doubt. Wouldn't you like to be free? Wouldn't you like to be free? Wouldn't you like to be free? Wouldn't you like to be free eternally? Tremendous sound soon fill the sky. Millions fighting, all but 5 would die. And the sweet Lord sang his song. It didn't take him very long to help the young man out, freed him from his doubt. Wouldn't you like to be free? Wouldn't you like to be free? Wouldn't you like to be free from all the doubts you ever had? I know inside they drive you mad. Wouldn't you like to be free eternally? Oh, don't let illusion bring you down. Fight for the right to be free. Oh, don't let your vision touch the ground. Spirit soul is meant for victory. You and life is meant to set him free. On the battlefield 5,000 years ago, in great confusion, Arjuna dropped his bow, and the sweet Lord sang his song. It didn't